Hey, Build Show Network. We're in for a little treat this week. Unfortunately, we don't have Big Red and we don't have drawings, but we have some very exciting content. I recently just spent a week up in Vancouver, British Columbia. I got to tour a whole bunch of passive houses and high-performance homes, and they are doing some pretty neat stuff up there. Stuff certainly that I thought was worth sharing. So I shot a whole bunch of little videos, and we came back down here, put them together, and so we'll have a couple weeks of looking at what they're doing up there in Vancouver. I was very impressed. It was one of my better trips in probably the last 10 years. So anyways, really cool stuff. Let's have at it. Enjoy the videos. Hey, IG. So we're out here north of Vancouver on our way towards Whistler Mountain, but got the whole crew here. We have a gentleman, Marceau from the Econ group, giving us a tour. A lot of cool things to see here, so stand by. So here's some interesting details. On the first floor, we have the exterior wall here, but on the second floor, the exterior wall is over here. So we have that little bit of an offset, hence that's why the steel beam is in there. But we also have this big overhang here. So the question there for the architect and builder is always, do we include that as part of the conditioned space, or do we push it out of the conditioned space? So Marcel's decision was to make it part of the conditioned space. So you can see the Siga My Vest here is already all put up, and it's going to be set to be rolled out after this gets all closed up. But notice here that on this wall, the large thermal break here, so that's 6 inches of EPS. That's compatible with the 6 inches that they're going to put on the wall insulation. And what happens is you actually have this LVL here, and you can see these ledger lock screws. But notice the bottom screw is at an angle there, and the upper screw is on the flat. And so what you're doing there is basically creating this horizontal screw at the top and this diagonal screw at the bottom. So it makes this little triangulated structural holding pattern that really stiffens up, or really gives a good bite on that ledger and allows you to go through that foam. So this is a pretty cool detail here, in that this is a small little vestibule. Notice that it appears that the plywood goes all the way to the wall, but that's a temporary feature, because once we go inside here, you'll come to realize that there's this 6-inch space from the end stud to the wall, and the Siga comes through there. So that plywood is temporary closure for the moment. They're actually going to have their 6 inches of insulation. We'll go in here and fill that gap, and they'll just take that plywood off. But then you'll have this vestibule, which is unconditioned space, thermally broken from the house. And if we go around here, you'll see the same thing happens over here. We have that same 6-inch space there that will get filled with insulation and provide the thermal break from the unconditioned vestibule to the main house. And of course, the doorway here is going to receive the passive house door for the envelope. So here's a really cool product. We're out here in the front of the house. Front of the house has a number of large openings here for lift and slide doors. And one of the things that Marcel likes to do, he's the owner of Econ Group, is put the door out in the same plane as the rigid insulation here. So what he uses is this basically prefabricated angled system. It's made of fiberglass. It's made by a company called Sudal. And you can see here what it does is it takes the door off the concrete and actually puts it out in this plane. And if I back up here, you'll notice that by putting it in that plane, you're putting it in the same plane as the exterior insulation here. So if we swing over here, you can really see it because this door's already been installed. So you can see that there, same system. And if I swing around in the plane, you get to see down here how that door basically is hung on the outside of the wall. So, you know, they're flangeless wood-framed aluminum-clad doors, but this becomes somewhat like the nailing flange, that you attach the door to it and this gets attached to the wall. And so that, you know, you can see there the door getting attached, and then that pushes the door out of the plane of the weather-resistant barrier out into the same plane as the insulation here. We'll go around the backside and we'll be able to see that again. So this is probably one of the coolest products I've seen in a very long time. This just solves a whole bunch of problems that you have. Remember, this is a certified passive house. They're putting 6 inches of mineral wool on the outside of this building. And look at the clips that they're using here. This is just really cool. So they're made by a company. Where is it? You can see it there, I think. It's called EJOTK. It's EJOTK1 on there. I'll zoom in as best I can there. But anyways, what they are is basically these hangers that have these angled brackets. You have a thermal break there, and then you have this metal strap that reinforces it. So that angle's not going anywhere. They get installed 32 inches on center horizontally. They get installed 32 inches vertically on center. They're made, you know, in different dimensions. This one here, you can see 6 inches of mineral wool fits in there nice and snugly. And then what happens here is a metal channel goes over that, and then you can build out your rain screen and siding system from there. We'll go check that out around the corner. But before we do, I wanted to just point out one other thing is you see these little holes here. Well, to level these, all you basically do is stick a screwdriver in that hole and twist the strap. So maybe sometimes the straps end up looking like this or looking like that twisted one. But as you twist it, you can take this thing and bring it up and make it nice and level. So it allows you to do kind of a post-leveling technique. And as you can see, these just stretching down the wall there to accommodate that insulation. So let's go around the corner and see one that's a little further done. So let's check out this section here. So I'll pull the little insulation out for us so we can get a really good understanding of this whole wall assembly. You can see deep in the wall, we got the Siga MyVest 200. That's our weather-resistant barrier. That's on the plywood there. And then we have 2 layers of 3-inch mineral wool. There's that EJOTK bracket that we talked about with the hanger. Remember that you can screw that and adjust it. But then you end up putting this angle on the outside here. And that angle runs all the way down the wall. And the insulation fits nice and snugly. You can see there, both top and bottom. And then you simply install the wood furring on the outside of that. And so you can see here, we have our full rain screen system where we have that space in behind the mineral wool. And then as we come down here, you'll notice here we have the siding is going to come in and hit the extension jamb of that window. It'll leave a little bit of a reveal there, so it'll have that contemporary look that we like to use quite often. But it's a full drainable, dryable system. And he also uses the European sills here. So those are metal, and they just simply screw in at the bottom. They're color matched to the windows, so you get that nice cohesive look there. Man, what a beautiful wall system. Don't think we aren't going to see this somewhere again. One of the beauties of it is that typically mineral wool gets fastened by some large screws. 6 inches of mineral wool, we're probably talking 8-inch screws, so that's a pretty hefty budget. But the issue with the screws typically is that if I took this piece of rain screen here, the 1x, and tried to attach it here and then put a screw in it, I would get this kind of dimpling effect of the insulation, and that board would be wavy as it gets installed, depending on what that screw hits, how much it gets drawn in, all of that. But the beauty of this angle system is that it has a slot there, and you can basically put this angle anywhere in this plane. So they simply put the first one on there to the dimension they want, they put the second one down there, and then they run a string line across here. And then the string line allows them to put this angle exactly where they want it, and then install the rain screen system there. You still have that drying and draining potential, but when I go through here and you look, you are pretty much dead on that rain screen system. So what a great system. So there's a plumbing detail. I think it's called power pipe. So power pipe is nothing more than a heat recovery pipe that you use to interrupt the supply line from the city. So this is the left line here is the supply line that comes in from the street that supplies the house with water. And you can see that's connected to the power pipe, and then the power pipe kind of coils around the drain pipe here from the shower. So you're in there taking a shower, and all of that drain water is going down, literally down the drain. And it's going down the drain with your paid for heated water. And so this coiled pipe then strips the heat off of the drain water and puts it into the water in the coiled pipe, and then kicks it out on the top here. And then this comes down over here, and that goes to the water heater. So basically, the power pipe is nothing more than an interrupter between the piping system of the city water going to the water heater. But in doing so, it has the ability to strip the heat off the draining water that you already paid for and elevate the temperature of that water that's going into the water heater. I don't know, maybe 8, 10 degrees, something like that. I'm told by the manufacturer, we've used these a number of times on our projects, and manufacturers say something in the neighborhood of about 5 years it pays for itself. So anyways, there you have it. All right. So hope you enjoyed those videos and had as much fun watching them and taking in that information as I did touring the buildings. I was really excited. Doing some great stuff up there. Had a lot of fun. So look forward to it. We have another week of these. Got another second set. So if you enjoyed that, then come back next week and we'll look at more. If you're looking for more from me, find me on Instagram, Steve Basic Architect, putting up stuff there daily. And if you want to see more videos, go check out all my colleagues. Check out my videos. We've been doing this for a couple of years now. Literally over 1,000 videos are up there. And it's great, great stuff to go watch. So go check it out. And then lastly, you can find me on the Unbuild It podcast. It's on all the audio channels and YouTube. I team up with good friends Jake Bruton, who's another contributor here on the Build Show, and good friend Peter Yost. And we talk everything building science, favorite books, all kinds of great stuff. So anyways, go check it out. Until next time, long live our buildings.